first live open breakdown show, joined by Coach Tommy and Coach Lindsay. And we're going to break everything down today for you guys, go through some tips and tricks. And then at the end, we're going to give you guys a chance to ask whatever questions you have in the comments. So we've just finished watching the open announcement. Seems pretty simple workout. 26.1, we've got a 12-minute time cap of 20 wall balls, 18 box jump overs with a step down, 30 wall balls, 18, 40 wall balls, 18. Then it changes to a box step over with the wall ball. Then we're going to 66 wall balls. Super odd choice of number there. And
Yeah,
then,
I wonder where you got that from.
yeah. Then we are descending down in the same rep scheme. So we'll go back to the 18 step overs, 40 wall ball, 18, 30, 18, 20. Initial thoughts, watching the boys do it. Obviously, two finished, two got capped. So it's going to be pretty tough for the average Joe to finish. And we'll dive into strategy and stuff like that in a second. But I did want to just give everyone the heads up. There's really simple things you can do that are going to make your time a lot easier in regards to making sure your camera setup's right if you're going to film it. Making sure that your phone's on airplane mode. That's a super common one. I've suffered from that one before, where someone calls you midway through a recording and the recording stops. So there's all these little details, and just making sure that you pay attention to those. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and the anxiety of doing the open and even quarterfinals down the track, but try and dot your I's and cross your T's to make sure you don't have to redo unnecessarily, which is the worst case scenario. So Lindsay, if you don't mind, we can break down initially what we think the limiters are going to be and what you think is going to sort of slow up people the most.
Yeah, so the majority of athletes are going to be limited by their cardiac and muscular system. So expect to hurt, right? I think a lot of people like to go in and like preserve. They're feeling good, but just know that it's going to feel really rough like the entire time, and expect to work the entire 12 minutes. But I think majority of people are going to breathe heavy and their lower body's going to blow up. So the muscular endurance of the squat patterns and, the flexion and extension at the hip, so many contractions within that 12-minute that majority of people their legs are going to blow up. They're going to breathe heavy and their legs are going to blow up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, quads, right? Like just that's what you're going to be feeling is a lot of lactic acid build up there, and just something to be mentally prepared for when you're going into that workout, and just knowing it's going to happen and being okay with it and like settling in and just kind of living in that. And then obviously we'll talk pacing strategies on how to like preserve that for a long period of time. But yeah, that's what to expect for sure.
It's one of those ones where the mindset going into it is so important, because if you accept that it's going to get gnarly from the jump, I think with these simple workouts, a lot of time people think simple means easy or less effort, but
those are the scariest.
Yeah, it's like a 2K row. If you accept that it's going to suck, when the sucking happens, it's generally not as bad.
Yeah, it requires a lot of mental fortitude to stay in it and just learn how to chip away as opposed to like going balls to the wall. I feel like a lot of people are going to come too hot out of the gate.
Yeah, it's like 12 minutes, right? It's like it's like that time where it's like you can't full send, obviously, but like you can't overpace too, right? It's not 20 minutes where you can kind of make it up in the back half of an AMRAP or something. It's kind of like you got to ride that line and hope you hold on, right?
100%. And like, I think it's super important to remember, like we got, I think it's 246 wall balls, which is, as far as I know, the most ever in an open workout.
In an open workout, I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
Like, that's
that one workout though, just not that we want to get off on a tangent here, but that
the row wall
ball row. Yeah, I think I probably did very close to that many.
That was 2018.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
That
nasty.
was really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you'll get capped even if you do 20 wall balls a minute. Like
Oh,
it's an aggressive time cap.
Yeah, it's a 30 wall ball a minute kind of pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about that in a sense of like the normal average Joe, you're not going into this thinking you're going to finish.
Right.
So it's sort of like trying to approach it in like, how can we get as deep as possible? Because it feels like one of those ones where if you stop moving, that's the worst case scenario. It's like, how do you keep yourself ticking over and making sure that you're just always getting reps done? It almost doesn't matter if you slow down a bit, but it's the hunched over on a wall ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Waiting for your soul to come back before you pick it
Yeah.
up again, which is going to be the thing that affects people the most, I think.
Yeah. Like if you aren't elite or semifinal, then there should be no unbroken wall balls, in my opinion. Unless you can do double Karen unbroken, I don't think going, back to back is a good idea.
Well, that's probably like, yeah, sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, even if you are a games or like high level semifinal athletes, like be realistic with how you are the wall balls, right? Like if you're not good at wall balls, just like consider breaking, even though, the rest of the field might be trying to go unbroken. You have to come up with the best for you. But I agree, like games level athletes and high level semifinal athletes, or if you're just a wall ball wheelhouse kind of person, go unbroken. And then for the rest of the people, we got to find where you're going to break and how you should go about that.
Yeah. I think having a good wall ball routine with rests in between. So getting the ball, med ball clean, throw, do your 5 to 10 reps, drop it, 3, 2, 1. Staying in that rhythm and cycle will keep you on your set count, as opposed to just going until you feel like you need to break, like plan to break from the jump.
Yeah. And I think for like, the more average Joe, we'll talk like, maybe making quarterfinals type athlete, you're kind of riding that line. Like you can go 10s from the beginning. Like it's okay to break around with 20. Like if 20 is a lot for you, or just putting you over that line, just even a little bit, there's no reason in doing that to start the workout. Like why put yourself there at that risk?
Right.
Do your 10s, time your rest. That's really important. Like if 5 to 10 seconds at a time is really solid, because once again, breaking the wall balls and resting 10 seconds or 5 seconds is nothing in comparison to doing that big set and then staring at the ball like we already spoke about for 20 seconds times during the round of 66, right? Like you save time in the long run by planned breaks, right? I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
100%. Now, I think probably if we try and break this down for each sub sort of cohort of people, if we go with what your average Joe, probably more affiliate people doing the Open, their health and fitness goals, not so much competitors or anything like that. And then we can maybe break it down for people who are a bit more serious, quarterfinal, hedge, like sort of getting to that semi-final-ish level, and then we can go sort of semi-final in games. I think we can sort of bundle those two together with this one. But how would you guys, if you had a client or one of your clients and they were at that affiliate level, what would you be saying to them in regards to all this stuff like strategy, pacing, sets, reps, and what intentions with the movements?
Yeah, I would suggest 5s and steady movement on the box jump overs. Majority at the affiliate are probably going to burn out at like a 30. So staying quick 5s is what I would suggest. Affiliate up to quarterfinals, even like myself at that level, like I'm going to go to quick 5s because I don't want to slow down on the box jump overs. And I still have to set myself up to be consistent on that foot pattern on the box jump overs. And I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. So I would suggest affiliate, quarterfinal, quick 5s.
Yeah, not that I disagree with 5s, but I think it once again, obviously very dependent upon the athlete. And, I think you can get away with 10s. I think once you get to that 10 mark, that's when you start to kind of ride the line of like, am I doing more than I really should be? So, if you're pretty decent on the nice thing about a wall ball is like, it's a very well practiced movement for a lot of the people. doing it. So they should have somewhat good awareness as to like, can I hold tens for a long period of time? If the answer is no, then don't start with them. But if the answer is like, I typically do 10 at a time, then I think it's an okay strategy for this one.
Yeah, I think, and also being the step down for the box jump, that's like limiting the cadence pace. And I think for a lot of people, like the likelihood that they can almost recover is probably not the right term, but gather themselves on the box jumps to allow themselves to maybe go a little bit bigger on the wall ball, rather than going those massive set on the wall balls and then really laboring on the box jump, especially for that that standard of athlete that we're talking about initially.
Yeah, I think the hip flexor is going to be a little bit sneaky constantly, but just think
And
how long you
calves.
are in that squat pattern. So I think it would make sense to land in the bottom of a squat and be relaxed on the box jump over, as opposed to landing higher and above parallel and having that quad tension. I think that'll affect the wall balls.
Well, and also like at this level, I think you can't underestimate the shoulders either.
Yeah.
Like I think the shot, like it's probably sneaky. Everyone's going to look at this workout. I think it's a lower body part, and it is. But
Yeah.
Total volume of those wall balls, that's a lot of pressing.
Yeah.
Especially for an open level athlete, and I think that potentially could be even more of a limiter than the legs, right?
Yeah, I think this is where height plays a role too.
Yeah.
If you're someone who has to, jump and throw, then that's why I think it's better to almost catch the ball lower as opposed to like arms overhead.
Yeah.
I think that would benefit.
Yeah. So we're talking about starting the descent and sort of meeting the wall ball. And that's sort of something to practice for you guys in your warm up. Don't do it for the first time in the workout. It's not the time to try and apply something new, but definitely play around with that in the warm up and see if it feels more efficient. Moving more towards that sort of, I suppose, middle tier athlete. Sometimes it's probably the hardest area to coach or to guide through because more capacity, a bit more intent, and I suppose desire to do well. So it can, but also then again, not elite level fitness. So it's sort of hard to manage them. This is probably the person that's going to go out of the gate super hot, trying to do the best that they can. And it's, I suppose, our jobs to try and keep them from hurting themselves or
redlining.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you guys say for that middle tier athlete? Again, if you had one that was coached by you, what would your rap sheet be for them?
Yeah, the thing is with the quarterfinals athletes, it's such a large pool that we're speaking to right now. So even like I have a quarterfinals athlete who I'll say do tap. Me when I was like really into CrossFit and training hard, like I was a quarterfinals level athlete, but I'd probably go unbroken through 20, 30, and 40 in this workout because it was just a wheelhouse for me, right? So it's very much dependent on your capacity, of course. But I do think this is when we start to think about like sets of 15, 20, like we're in that range. Like, I think that for most people, you're doing the 20 unbroken, like unless they're a major weakness, and then you probably start breaking in the round of 30. That's 2 sets of 15, maybe it's 15, 15, 10 for 40. And then you're trying to get that 66 done in like 4 sets. So maybe you're 15, slightly over 15 for a couple sets and, trying to hold on there. Because like we said, this is all wall ball workout. And if you're up in that round of 66, because that's where the separator is going to start. That's 66, how well you manage that fatigue in that set. So I think most quarterfinal athletes are going to be able to finish that 66 and work their way back down. And how far you get is going to be like your score. So if you blow up in that round of 66 too soon, especially to do another 40, that's where you run into trouble. So it's all about pacing so that you can still push in that 66 and 40, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that people are underestimating the density of the 66. And I think it would be good to set up for success for that 66 because Monster Games qualifier had a similar workout, and it kind of crushed everybody when they got to the wall balls. So not, but then if you are like quarterfinal and wall balls are in your wheelhouse, then, don't be like lean in.
Yeah.
Don't be like lean in on the first, like 20 unbroken and then 2 sets on the 30 or 10s. But I think that's where the differentiator is between like, affiliate and our exhibition to quarterfinals. It's like you got to lean in and get a little uncomfortable a little early, but knowing your threshold and your own capacity is like paramount to this, so that you don't go over threshold.
Yeah. And George, what you kind of mentioned earlier, like that's how I would go about the workout myself personally, is like the box jumps is where I'm recovering. Like I'm pushing those wall balls. So I'm like, okay, like if I take an extra 7 to 10 seconds than everyone else on the box jumps, I'm okay with that, knowing I'm going to go make it up on the wall balls. Right. But if you're the opposite athlete who's like constantly having to break those wall balls, you might have to try to transition and kind of move on those box jumps, knowing where maybe that's where I can get some time on some other people. Right. So how you go about it.
Yeah.
And that's like the nuance in knowing yourself as an athlete. And even like you were saying, Lindsay, the mental side of it, some people, need to sort of get themselves in the weeds a little bit, or sort of, positively split it, like do some big sets early, get in that groove. Otherwise if they start breaking too early, they just end up going too slow. Like they'll stay consistent, but they never really get into gear.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm like that personally. Like if I over strategize, or if I go, even if it is the logical best thing to do.
Yeah.
There's definitely been workouts where, breaking initially it sets me up wrong mentally. Whereas if I try and hold on, it sort of like gets me into it a lot better. And it's sort of like the trade-off is worth it in regards to like the bit more fatigue. Because,
and this is the payoff of retests and a redo, like typical Mondays or Friday, Monday type thing, because you could watch your sets and extract a lot of data from that first run to apply it to your second run. Because, seconds can be made up because the contractions are so short.
Of course.
Yeah, agreed.
But this is the beauty of like the warm up. Like warm up plays such a big role, and I think people underestimate, the improvement that they get if they just did a good warm up.
100%, and even like on an aerobic level, like spending 10 to 20 minutes building your heart rate and getting the heart ready to go makes such a big difference for people. Like you don't want the first time your heart rate gets to a certain level to be, at the 4, 5, 6 minute mark of this workout.
Agreed. And getting your quads opened up too, I would say, like so that there could be some good blood flow in there, like whether that's scientifically proven or not. Like me personally, like I like to foam roll my quads, just kind of release the tissue a little bit, do a little couch stretch, like open up that area just so blood can kind of move through it a little bit better rather than it feeling all bunched up. That's something that's helped me in the past personally.
Yeah, I think like as a company, we really preach the warm up specifically. Like we all have the same method as far as mobilize, get the blood flowing, foam roller, like 5 minutes on the bike, get moving, and then just movement prep. So again, hip flexor, warm up, all those things, and then movement specific things. And then you're doing intervals at game race pace so that 2 minutes you're sweating, your heart rate is not going to spike in that first 2 minutes.
And also like with this amount of wall balls, like I think a lot of people can sort of discount a wall ball and be like, it's just a wall ball, it's light. Similar to an air squat. Like my mentality, you treat it like you're warming up for a back squat, like because the efficiency is just as important. It's just a different expression of the efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Obviously with a back squat, we're trying to like move a heavier load and potentially as heavy as we can. But if you're lacking a little bit of mobility, like you said, if things aren't opened up over hundreds of reps of wall balls, like that's going to add up.
Yeah, I would agree. To that point, you said efficiency, and one thing I don't think we really mentioned that we probably heard of is just the importance of not getting any no reps.
Yeah,
I think most people are probably using a wall with a line across it, which obviously plays to your favor. But if you have to utilize a target, like that's really rough. And,
Yeah.
for 266, that's a big difference. So if you don't have to use a target, definitely don't. That would be one suggestion for sure. But yeah, minimizing any types of no reps, like missing the wall completely, or, if someone's really judging you hardcore, making sure you're hitting parallel, like things of that nature, like
Yeah.
a big role.
With the targets too, I mean, I've seen it more times than I'd like to admit, but the wall ball getting caught on the wall ball target, like you do not want that to happen. So
Yeah.
going with a wall setup, I think would be, especially with a color differentiator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I always say it for everyone, especially any sort of online qualifier, or
Mhm.
the wall is like way superior.
Yeah.
Because it subjectively feels easier. You've got that tactile thing right in front of you. Oftentimes the targets are like offset. You feel like you're standing sort of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you've got like an arbitrary target up ahead of you, and the targets can be set. Some of them, the line is the bottom of the target. Some of them, it's the middle of the target.
Yeah.
Again, depends which gym you're at and how the owner set it up. But there's a lot of ambiguity, whereas like a line's a line, right?
Yeah. I think movement economy is so important, especially like GPP. Like if you move better in a squat pattern, you probably will do better, just because the frontal plane won't be taxed as much if you have poor ankle mobility. So I think if you are someone who lacks ankle mobility, hip mobility, and you struggle just alone in an air squat pattern, like that's definitely going to affect you. Will have to breathe harder through reps where people will just breathe through.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if we shift to the top of the tree here, we had the example, obviously, watching the boys go live. Colton won pretty handily. Like Jason, like it was a good example because in a podcast actually that dropped earlier today, we spoke with Coach L and Joey Toto about obviously Coach L has Jason and Joey Toto has Colton, and the difference in the anthropometrics between the two. Now, the reason that's interesting is because in this workout, it's one of those ones where you would think that plays a huge role. Now, the net end result was not that different, really.
Yeah.
Between the two, right? Like
True.
Colton did win, but the margin was like, if you had asked me how that would go down before, I would have thought there would have been a much bigger difference than there was.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's an anomaly, or because I personally think it's an anomaly. I do think you should expect taller athletes to go and win this one. I think kudos to Colton, like that dude came out swinging and hit the fence,
Hung on.
hit the fences. So good for him. But yeah, those higher level athletes, like we were saying, like most of you guys should be striving to go unbroken for this workout. Like if you're a games level athlete, I mean, I think it needs to be done. That's it. You got to come out and just see how far you can hold on, I think, really.
And realistically, we're talking about, I think people underestimate, like there's going to be a lot of grouping, I think, in that last set of wall balls in regards to finishing times, or finishing scores rather. Like realistically, that's 45 seconds of wall balls ish. So at that end of the workout, there's going to be a lot of people on, like the grouping is going to be quite tight, I think.
I agree. It's like go grab that wall ball as fast as you can in that moment. Yeah.
Transitions matter.
Yeah, exactly. You just made a great point. Like, other than going unbroken, like, what is the separator? It's the transitions. Like, you saw Colton catch the ball.
That was crazy.
That was nuts. That was nuts. Like, that's why he won that workout. Like, those little tiny things that you can't even teach sometimes. Like, I don't even know if he thought about doing that or just did it in the moment,
Yeah.
That was just like, you could tell he was out there to win.
Yeah.
Right? And not that the other boys weren't, but there's intent and then there's intent. Like that was a message. He was like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important. Even for this elite level guys, I think it also is important what we said about the proper warm up. It's possibly even more important because they're going to be doing more reps. So more contractions, longer, more time under tension, all those sorts of things. So, semi-final athlete, thing like that, I think the aerobic warm-up, super, super important. Get sweaty.
Yeah.
If you're not sweating by the time you're done, I think you're definitely leaving some room on the table.
Yeah, I think if you're a competitor and you're used to competing, you have an idea of what it's like to warm up because you're gonna be corralled for 10 minutes. Like you have to know how to like warm up and gear back up. But I think at the affiliate level and like GPP, they don't understand the benefit of that full hour warm up. I see that a lot in my affiliate too, like the thought of like wasting energy,
Yeah,
but understanding that like you need to be sweating so that
that's
your
always
legs
blown
don't
my
feel like,
mind.
yeah.
People think they're wasting their reps, like they got a
Mhm.
finite amount of.
Yeah,
There's
of
some movements where maybe I can understand that, like
course.
like a legless rope climb,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
pistols for some people. If your knees are only going to tolerate so much before they
Yeah.
explode, but definitely not for wall balls and box jumps.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think something else from a limitation standpoint, like that can be sneaky, is going to be the low back for some people.
Yeah.
You have chronic like low back, issues when you have to do high volume squatting. Like this whole thing is going to put you in a pattern where your hips are under a lot of stress. And
Yeah.
so that's the cause to a lot of low back stuff for you. Like just making sure that like you're doing a lot of external and internal rotation work with your hips and really just kind of opening up that space. Because
Yeah.
definitely could be something that slows you down if it, starts to bother you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's for a lot of people that being a limiter will affect how you split everything up. Because
Yeah.
like if maybe you're aerobically, great and you have good sets of 10, but if your back is prone to, locking up, that is definitely something to consider.
and even the box jump overs, people can tend to lean over a lot. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you're jumping up on the box, you're quite
Hmm.
hinged far forward. Obviously, it's trying to stay low and stuff like that. And again, you do a few
Hmm.
reps, it's not going to make a huge difference. But over the course of this workout, where it's so repetitive, it's definitely going to build up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Now,
what are your thoughts on how to hold the ball for the med ball step up? Had some people say shoulders, bear hug. Like, if your shoulders are burning.
I actually want to look up the standard on that, because I heard something during the live stream about it not being able to touch certain, like maybe not touch your legs
Okay.
or something like
That's your
that.
leg. Yeah, that's what I imagine,
Yeah.
like your thigh, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you could sort of just lap it, that would be the way to go, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
you can rest the weight on your legs when you're at the top of the box. But
Yeah. Me personally, I would not put it on my shoulder like this, just
Hmm.
because of the way I personally am built. Like that blows up my shoulder a lot. And
Yeah.
that combo with the wall ball would really hurt me. So even if like 20 pounds is pretty light, like if it's a heavy bag, like yeah, sometimes that compression can cause like it's harder to breathe. But like with this ball, I don't see that being too much of an issue, at least for me personally. So that's how I would probably go, or even like a football, honestly. I might
Yeah.
switch arms a little bit and kind of just go like that. But definitely personally would not put it on the shoulder.
Yeah. And depending on how tall you are, if you were to keep it in the front and it does touch the legs and that's not allowed in the rule book, then that's a no rep and that is super costly.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm super curious how, because Colton, there's not a lot of room there, not a lot of
Yeah.
torso to keep
Yeah.
it off of the games app is down at the moment, so that's not very helpful to us.
Yeah, geez, of course it is. But but I do think a lot of people will put it on the shoulder, and that's appropriate for some people. So I'm not even trying
Yeah.
to say it's not the way to do it, because I think when you put it there, you can move a little bit faster than kind of on your chest.
Yeah.
So for some people who need to push those step overs, which I do think is important for, like Colton was moving on those things. If you look back at his cycle rate, even for his shorter legs, like challenging
Yeah.
moving. So you definitely can put it there, just as long as it's not going to blow up your shoulders.
Yeah. Or, putting it slightly behind.
Mhm.
But again, if that causes you to stay hinged over and you're prone to blowing up, like that's something to take into consideration.
Agreed.
Now, what do you guys think the fastest time in the world would be?
Colton.
Miriam, I think.
Actually, a
Miriam.
female. Yeah. Who did you say?
Mhm. Miriam Van Orr, she won the Open last year. She can do 350 wall balls unbroken. Like she's done 1,000 reps under a certain amount of time. Like
Yeah.
I think this is her workout.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, I do think a female, regardless. So I do think females in general will be a little bit faster here. Just with the box jump over, I think they'll be moving a little bit quicker. and the wall ball target being a little bit shorter. So I can see that. Prediction though on who does it the fastest. Honestly, I'll go with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Miriam.
I think it'll be super interesting. Like, going much faster than what we saw today. Like
I know.
somehow people always end up doing it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only place I saw Colton slow is literally that last set of box jump overs, like for like 5 reps. So it's just so crazy how we'll probably see someone be like 30 seconds faster, and you're just like, where did that come
How?
from? Yeah.
Well, we got Dex in the comments, and he's saying
Of
for
course.
sure, we're saying for sure a female, which isn't a bad shout. Like the shorter range of motion with the 9 foot. Like if you've got a beast, like tall girl,
All
who's
female.
got that quick cycle rate, I think
Yeah.
definitely will beat the dudes. Especially with the low box too. Like it's the best of all worlds because it's just a little hop up.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see any of them repeat to stick it to people?
I only think if they think they're going to win the money. Like the stakes are definitely lower again this year than they were last year. Like last year, I know for a lot of the semifinals, the Open was the qualifier. Or your score, you punched it into their leaderboard. Whereas, as far as I know, I don't think any are this year. So, because we've got quarterfinals back. So,
yeah.
Unless people are thinking that they're going to win some cash,
yeah,
I don't see it. And I see a lot of people probably doing it a lot more as just part of their training day, rather than dedicating 2 whole sessions like today, Saturday, or today, tomorrow, and then another one on Monday.
Even like remembering just that quarterfinals burpee box jump over wall ball workout, like how destroyed you were from that. I feel like you're going to be just so destroyed from this workout. Like the next day, like that many wall balls, that fast.
Yeah. I think the athletes who are having to repeat in hopes of trying to make quarterfinals, like that area, we'll have to be more strategic in recovering and redoing on Monday, because I'm sure it's going to leave people very sore with the number of contractions. And I'm telling all my athletes, if they're quarterfinal, to redo, just for taking the data, applying it, practice. The amount of online qualifiers there are these days, that just going through the process is beneficial.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
But
I think for a lot of people as well, it's like, well, I know for me, I use it, especially not last year. Like I got caught out a bit last year because I was so used to having the Open as like a warm up over the weeks, and sort of like by week 3, you're like, all right, I'm ready for quarters now. Whereas last year, I think I redid the first workout like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because like the season was on the line.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, while we are chatting away, I just want to let all the listeners know you can pop any questions that you may have in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. We'll try to keep it open for 10, 15 minutes, depending on how many questions you guys have. But we'll just keep chatting away until those come through, if there are any.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, objectively, is it a good workout?
Yeah, I love it. I think the step overs is weird. Like I would have just kept it a couplet personally.
Yeah.
And I think it's a better workout that way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great workout. And then I'm guessing someone tested the workout and Dave was like, we need 66 wall balls, because that's the only way that, like, for the time domain and for, that's the only reason. Because otherwise, I imagine when he originally wrote it, it was 50, and too many people are going to finish, I guess. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, and I think it sort of fits in with the theme of the first week of the last few years.
Yeah.
Super
aerobic, high contractions.
Simple, high contractions, simple but nasty.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting what sort of that leaves for the next, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think it's a good lower body test.
I thought it was a little bit of a waste to have all those boys there for that, in regards to like from a spectator's perspective. Like I thought it was going to be maybe a little bit something more complex, just because they're getting 4 of the guys out, like top
Yeah.
dudes, and I don't know. There's only so many separators for those top guys in that sort of workout. I was expecting something potentially a little bit more spicy, but
yeah, I think this week 1, I think it's pretty demoralizing right off the bat for some of these people.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, New it's like, yeah, everyone can do it, and like, sure, everyone can do this one, but it's like rough, real
Yeah.
quick. 40 for a lot of people, you're just like, yo, what were we doing?
Inclusive and demoralizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which are the hardest ones.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah, I honestly, although they did bring those 4 guys out there, like seeing Colton pull that off is like, I thought, like, that's like his weakness, like, and to see that, like, I think it's pretty like inspiring. Like the guy like really works hard, man. Like people call him out and be like, he's not good at box jump overs. They saw that and wrote him off before it even started.
Yeah.
And he knew that's what people were saying, and he came out and just won. It's like, and then everyone else is like, damn.
He uses that as fuel. Like even the height difference, I'm sure was like he's got to throw down the hammer.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
And even like a lot of people often, they bundle Austin and Colton together. Similar body shape and body style, but there was what we saw today, big difference between them.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we have a question from Anakin's Hang. 5146. How would you carry the wall ball while doing step overs? So we touched on this briefly before. It depends on you as an athlete. That's a terrible answer, but we're thinking that only on the shoulder if you're super comfortable with it. Otherwise, that's going to fatigue that one shoulder that you choose to use. The most even will be holding it out in front of you, and I think that even is a little bit easier because anytime you have the weight out in front of you, it carries you over the box, helps that, step up onto
direction.
similar to how a front squat can often be better for people with mobility limitations because the weight's out in front.
Yeah. But the kicker is you're hinging forward more.
Yeah, correct.
So, if your back is hurting.
Yep.
But again, this is like the importance of the warm-up. I think people should test that out in their warm-up to see what they are going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And like we've said like a few times already, this is not one of those ones where you roll in, do a couple of air squats, do a couple of box jumps, and get cracking. If you want to do as well as you can.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sweat.
You brought up sweat. Something worth noting is the shirt.
Yeah.
You don't want that ball to get too wet.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're a sweater, you might want to keep that shirt on, maybe chalk it up a little bit. Right. This way, keep that thing nice and tight to the body.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Because like all those little things do tend to add up when there's so many reps, and even if it just annoys you, like that can be enough to throw you off mentally. Like you could be locked in, you're sort of riding that hurt wave and you're ready to suffer. And then, it's like an untied shoelace can completely just derail you. Like it might not even affect the workout. You could probably keep doing the workout with an undone shoelace, but it's just going to be
mentally.
Yeah. It's like that pebble in your shoe, right?
Yeah. Which is the importance of practice and doing types of things with the pressure on and your heart rate skyrocketing. And it's like you can only control the controllables. So what do you do if that situation happens?
Yeah.
Because 99% of the time, something's going to happen.
100%. Like I said, you
always.
should always just expect something to happen. And that way, when it does happen, like I think, it's a Michael Phelps story where he would always practice goggles filling up with water, like all these little anomalies. Just in case. And look, it ended up happening, I think, in the final of his 100-meter butterfly at one of the years. He's got water in his goggles and, he was ready. Because you're expecting all those things. If you're expecting everything to go perfect, then not to go too deep in it, but like that's for anything in life. If you expect
Yeah.
there's going to be road bumps when they come, they're not going to hurt as much as expecting everything to go smooth.
Same with getting a no rep. Like, don't fight
Yes.
it. Just pick the equipment back up and get going.
100%. And that's the thing. Like people that are going to be judging you, no, it's not a personal vendetta. You know, like it's not
Right.
personal. Just do the things, do them properly. At the end of the day, this is the biggest community event in the world still, I'm pretty sure. So everyone's out here judging each other and whatnot. So just be kind to each other.
Agreed.
Always.
All right, guys, we'll give it another couple of minutes if there's any other questions, but otherwise, I think we've pretty much touched on everything. There's only so much to break down with the more simple workouts, but I think we've done a pretty comprehensive job. We will be doing this for every open workout and hopefully for quarterfinals as well. So you guys can sort of put that down in the calendar to expect that from us. We're going to have undecided who we have on each week, but we'll definitely be here after the announcement every week and do a similar thing. So yeah, and also if you've got questions in advance, feel free to leave them in the comments for the upcoming stream, and we can always address those too.
Yeah. Still not too late to sign up for the Open if you haven't.
I still haven't signed up. I always sign up when I go to put my score in.
I got you. Yeah.
And I feel like so many people do that too. It's like it seems unnecessary to do it before that, but no. Thank you both for joining me today. Hopefully, you guys get a chance to do well when your athletes all smash it as well, and everyone in the greater Brute community. We do have our Brute leaderboards on the Open, so search for them. All the chats and stuff on the Strivey app and stuff like that too. So let's just try and keep everyone communicating and feed off each other's energy and a bit of friendly competition. We'll see what goes.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Right. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.